as a person that every day in my life touch food and taste food, and you know, I look at people and see what food does when they're sitting at a restaurant, and what's even more amazing is that it seems to be one of the few moments where people actually talk to each other, just sit in front of each other, and there's no TV going on or anything when they're at the restaurant. So I can't, you know, I think that food, the way, what it can do to you know, to your health and to somehow your, as a family life, it's amazing, and I feel it's a shame that, for instance, in Denmark, that food is not subsidized in the same way that other culture forms is. And I'm not saying that chefs should be subsidized or anything like that. I'm just saying that a market like this, I don't know if you don't even know if it is happening. But I'm sure that the New York City Ballet and so many other cultural institutions, like in Denmark, our ballet, they only exist because of taxpayers' money. Whereas the markets, they are there on you know, somehow the market's premises. Who can afford the rent will be there, not necessarily what is the best of the food stuff, which it should be that, you know, because for me the market is like, it's like the soul. That's where you see the soul of the city. Well, right now we are dwelling into the history of or I am dwelling into the history of the human being. You know, which is, I mean, I'm probably going to read about this for years, but well, how is it that we came to eat the way we eat today? You know, which is quite interesting actually. There's many inspirations to find there, and also, you know, simply learning about the man, the human being, so to speak, in relation to food. So how did food change us?
And what have you learned?
Well, you know what? Well, it seems to be that that's because of we, the man, started to learn how to cook food, not eating raw food only. Right. That's when we evolved and became the predominant species on the planet. So which is, you know, kind of mind-boggling.
Is that the relationship to fire, you think? I mean, is there some domination of nature?
Yes, of course there is. Through the fire you started cooking food. But once you started cooking food and you're getting your nutrients in a different way, that's when also our brain started to grow. We use less energy on actually gathering food and chewing food. It's astonishing that chewing food was a big subject for our predecessors. They actually took a lot of their energy.
Well, actually, and there are people who say there's a chewing diet where, like, if you chew, you can lose weight. People who actually actively chew in order to reduce.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's completely stupid. I mean, come on. First time I ate at Momofuku Samba years ago, for me, you know, this also signifies quite a shift in the way that people perceive this lifestyle of eating. The fact that you can have a very simple space, but chefs and ingredients dedicated to really upper class, or not upper class, that's the wrong word, but upscale cooking, you know, quite a refined cooking. That was inspiration for me, and you know, then again going to Japan and seeing temple cooking and realizing that you know, through being vegetarians for centuries, you know, a whole cuisine evolved, and some of these staples that we have today all over the world, such as the, you know, soy sauce and tofu and miso, actually came out of these issues, which is amazing, and you know, so that made me go home and somehow study who are we as our religion, how did that influence us, which is a completely different story, of course. Well, for me, one of the issues was that, you know, it's common that in the past 100 years, or 50 years, I can't remember the exact years, but it's, you know, they say that 70% of our crop varieties have disappeared.
Right.
And of course that's sad for the people, but as a chef, for me, you know, Michel Bras, he always talks about cooking as a vocabulary. And you will want many letters to form sentences so that you can speak. And if 70% of our vocabulary has been taken away from us, you know, we will have our sentences will be more banal and not as good as they could be. So that's a reason, you know, that's very important. If you look at it that way, that somehow, for me, it's like an attack on my profession. I want to be a cook, but, you know, I want food to cook with. The more letters I have, the more sentences, the bigger the language.